Hello and welcome to another update video about the S&P 500. So we want to cover the S&P. It was a quite stressful week with price action that was going on in the stock market. And I wanted to give you a quick update. Don't want to make it too long because of time issues. I'm running out of time. Just want to keep it short. But because of the sell-off that we've had this week, I thought we should do a public update. A lot of people asked me for an update. If you want the detailed updates, also intraday updates about the S&P 500 and daily updates, check out our S&P 500 and stock service. You can find the link in the video description. We cover 20 stocks. And on a daily basis and intraday basis, also the S&P 500. So we want to talk about it from an Elliott wave point of view. When we moved up here, that was in July, and anybody who's been following us or who was following us already in June, July knows that we were waiting for one more high, which happened, and then a larger decline. So the larger decline was supposed to go into our yellow box. I've reduced that, or I've just shown this 50% level now because the support broke. So already then I highlighted to you that we're either going to enter a very, very, very bearish scenario, which on a higher level was at the time my primary scenario, basically a bearish scenario, which could send it down to around about 2,500 to 3,000 points. However, I did highlight to you that primary scenario, yes, but the short-term trend is still up. So I'm still focusing on the orange wave count, which is the bullish one, which can send us all the way up to round about 5,500 points on the SPX. In a larger third wave. However, this support broke this week. And now the orange count is therefore not invalidated, but I cannot focus on the uptrend anymore primarily. So essentially we have some the market gave us some clarifications this week and made things quite clear. It has been quite a bit of a sell-off week. Markets often, as they say, don't bottom on a Friday, but maybe next week we get a bit of a relief rally. The nature of the next rally will give us further clarity as to what is going on in this market. If it's going to be a corrective rally, then this is the white wave count, which essentially can then send us down much, much lower. And it's worth talking about that. I talked about that already up here, okay, highlighted it as major risk. So, for example, a wise strategy up there could have been to take some profits, take some profits, reduce positions to be prepared for the drop that was coming in both scenarios, okay? But we never had a confirmed low in place here, okay? We never had a confirmed low in place anywhere, not in the orange count, not in the white count. And because we broke below our 50% retracement at 4187, and now it's also entered the target area here for the bearish wave count, which is between 4118 and 4075. Now, the orange count, which is the bullish one where we could turn around and rally above the July highs, is still valid. Certainly not my primary scenario anymore. It's not clearly bearish, but it has certainly shifted. In the short term, however, it doesn't make any difference because I would expect from here somewhere, at least it would be reasonable to expect, I think it's best to frame it like that. It's reasonable to expect a rally next week from somewhere here because we are very much oversold on various time frames, not only the 4 hour, also on the daily chart, we are oversold on the RSI, and it has so far reacted to the 1.618 extension level at 4117. One of the levels I indicated yesterday to to our subscribers, and then 4075 is another one. Now I would allow in this particular white wave count it would be a wave 5 of 1, this bearish count here, basically a leading diagonal, to go all the way to the 200% extension here at 4023. However, if we see a sustained break below that level, well, then I think we are setting up for a crash more directly, okay? then I think we are setting up for a crash more directly. At the moment, for me, this is a 5-wave move down. You can interpret it as a 3-wave move in the orange count. However, obviously, with that extension down here, it looks more like a 5-wave move. Because of that, it needs to prove to me now that it can rally above the July highs. It would not be my assumption anymore, which means that primary scenario would be a corrective rally into the red box between round about 4,300 and 4,500, and then a crash down. And that would be a dramatic crash, and I can only warn about that. So obviously I don't have a crystal ball, okay, but this has become far more likely. I'm not a crash prophet, but this would be a crash. So the main question for me for the next week and so on will be, is the rally that's going to happen, and I would expect one from here, which will take probably a few weeks, okay? It might take into the end of this year. Is that going to be, I mean, it might go into January, I don't know, you know, it would be a corrective rally likely. But the question is this going to be a corrective rally that's going to enter the red box and then stay below the 78.6 retracement level? Because above that level, I think probabilities flip again to orange. Or is it going to be, so let's see. It's been a long week. So is it going to be a corrective rally that actually stays in this box and then crashes down? Yeah, leads to a crash. Or is it going to be an impulsive rally that will break above the pivot, the main pivot point there? So that's what I'm going to observe in the next few weeks. So far, until now, over the last few weeks and so on, we've been watching for lower prices. We started to watch for a bottoming structure to form around 4187. It didn't happen, okay? We could never confirm a low. There were some resistances that were also never broken. So the focus had to be on lower, or at least we had to consider further lower prices still. But now that we have entered really also in the bearish count, a key target area, I think it's worth watching for at least a bit of a rally maybe next week or in the next couple of weeks, okay? And I will guide along the way. But yeah, obviously we've got a lot of assets here to cover on the channel. So if you're interested in daily updates, also intraday updates, if you don't want to miss if the crash is going to happen or not. I mean, bear in mind, I have no crystal ball, but I can point you towards the relevant levels and where probabilities are shifting. So if you're interested in that, check out our stocks and S&P 500 service. Had some really good calls. For example, we're definitely bearish on Tesla, for example, Nvidia. Quite a few others were primarily planned to go to the downside, which they have done. So yeah, anyway, we'll have a look at all of these. And if you're interested, check it out. Link is in the description. And enjoy your weekend. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.